Hi everyone, thanks for making this meeting at such short notice. And thanks for sending through the selfies. That'll save some video bandwidth as it's a double encrypted session. Anyway, we're on a pretty short time slot for this first run through, so let's get started. I'm going to run through some preliminary images, but as you'll see, they're particularly relevant. So what we're going to see came to us from an impeccable source, Dr. Meredith Fisher, who's a senior research analyst at SETI.
I see.
Okay.
Dr. Fisher was scanning some pretty obscure wavelengths when she came across a coherent signal which met all the SETI criteria for recognition and investigation.
Are you sure about this? I mean, we don't want to look foolish. There is such a thing as fake news, you know.
I know Dr. Fisher very well, and she wouldn't let anything fake get past her.
Well, that's good to know.
It's been authenticated at this end, and by Caltech and the Richmond Institute. Don't you agree, Jess?
Yep, here at Pasadena we agree. It's about as real as it gets. Both the level and type of encryption used to package the signal data was something no one has encountered before.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you now.
Just what are these images?
Well, basically they've come from probes sent into interstellar space. I'll explain more in a minute. These small images are just a sample of what we have.
Yeah, I've seen some of these from the file you sent me.
Okay, so who else knows about this?
Well, right now it's on a super strict need-to-know basis. 10 people are aware of it already, and today's briefing will bring you guys up to speed. As far as we can tell, this tantalizing fragment of data arrived through a space-time anomaly that we don't really understand. So here's the thing. The data refers to the year 2153.
That's incredible.
Okay, let me get this right. This is one of the images from a future probe, right?
Yeah,
Really?
absolutely. Besides what we're going to run through, we have an amount of associated data from this fragment. It all shows some pretty amazing advancements in science, physics and astrophysics.
That's astounding. But what sort of technology we are talking about?
But the advancements appear to depend on how the quantum world will be explored and exploited in the next 150 years. And one surprise is the extent of subatomic, so-called Q-space exploration. Plus there seems to be near instant transfer of data across the enormity of the cosmos. And the focus of the probes seems to be on exoplanets.
So are we really looking at an exoplanet here?
Yep, and more to come.
And are these probes sent from Earth?
We assume so. But the thing is, they've exploited the quantum world to send physical objects such as these probes to anywhere in the universe. And evidently they've sent thousands.
Well, that's amazing, if true. Hey, just look at that spiral.
This is an extraordinary picture. I'll have to see it again.
You'll get the chance. So for a full screen view, I'm going to take our thumbnail images off the screen now. So here we go. This image shows probe data and is typical for each probe. However, as time's tight for now, we've taken the probe data out of the set and it'll be sent to you separately. Instead, what I want us to look at is data relating to each destination. So what we need to do right now is to concentrate on the images, looking at them in real time as they were received. There's not much time for each, so let's have some first reactions. There'll be a more detailed review in the next session. Off we go.
Oh yes, I can see what you mean about this data.
There's a fair amount of nebulosity here amongst the globular clusters.
The table shows antimony, magnesium and tungsten. All of these will soon be scarce on Earth.
Yeah, and it's good to see they're referencing a Coro sequence. I seem to remember that mission finished in 2013.
What's that background sound? Is it More data?
Yeah, we're not really sure. It could be what amounts to Q drive noise from the probe. Not that we know anything about it, of course. Could be connected to data yet to be analysed. There's so much we don't know, indeed we can't know about all of this.
Hey, this looks good. Planet, moon, or an asteroid surface? And that blue pink planet appears to have a thin atmosphere.
And then there's the one behind. A planet or a moon? Can't really tell. Not knowing the scale makes it difficult.
Yeah, that's one piece of data we don't have right now. We might find it later.
Can someone remind me what TB is?
Terbium. It's another rare earth, and found in ores such as monazite. It's combined with other materials in making solid-state devices. Oh yes, and X-ray units.
Oh, that's pretty spectacular. Those colors are wonderful. We don't know the spectrum, so I guess they could be Hubble palette colors?
Yes, that's likely. That ring galaxy looks interesting. A dense, dusty core?
Could be an area of star formation.
I'd love to see more data on this one. More interesting stuff. Some spectacular looking rock formations. It's difficult to know whether we're looking at a planet or a moon.
Those whirly streaks could be clouds, but there's not much evidence of an atmosphere in this view.
You're right, and I see they're listing more rare earths here.
This looks to have an atmosphere. I wonder what it's composed of. I'd like to know more about the geology of this one.
That blue planet beyond looks interesting.
The small bright disks are probably more planets, I guess.
Looking at the list, it includes neodymium, which makes really good magnets.
There's some activity here. I wonder if that's a dust storm. And that turbulence. It's difficult to know whether it's planetary or cosmic.
Yes, I agree. And that dark blue planet looks really close.
I'd guess that it's cosmic in nature. It reminds me of a supernova and a star-forming nebula, like Rosette or Orion M42.
Yeah, you've got something there.
So here's another spectacular surface. We should have a geologist with us.
Is that a massive sun or a hot Jupiter-like gas giant, I wonder?
I love the colors. I want to look longer.
Sorry, we need to move on. You'll get another chance.
Whoa, look at this one. Are we in a cavern or a crystal cave?
This is fascinating. The clarity of these images is remarkable.
Oh, look at those staring globular clusters. We've got galaxies and open clusters too. Fantastic.
Now, what's going on here? Another huge sun or massive radiating giant, but then that blue, pink, and gold planet appears to have retained its atmosphere. The universe sure has surprises.
Yes, I agree. This certainly looks a bit weird to us. But then, we're going to be surprised by this, aren't we?
I see that amongst others, they're listing americium this time. That's spectacularly rare. The only source we know of is a nuclear detonation. I wonder what's happening on this exo then, and what quantities were found.
What a stunning triple planetary system. And the probes on one of them. Look, all planets appear to have relatively thin atmospheres, but they all have active weather systems. The planet we're on must have a dense enough atmosphere to allow lakes to form.
This is beautiful and quite wonderful. I want to go there.
Yes, this is indeed something very special.
Yeah, it's magical.
From what I can tell so far, the focus of the probes is all about elements and minerals rather than searching for Earth-like planets in the Goldilocks zone.
Yes, and they're talking about minerals. It seems they're particularly interested in rare earths.
Well, we are due to run out of these within the next decade. Those colourful planets, they seem to have some form of convection rotation.
Oh, I wish I knew more about the probe's technology. It's a bit like being Michael Faraday exploring the basics of electricity. He wouldn't have a clue about the seeming magic of our digital age. So, I guess, why should we have a clue about this quantum-based tech?
Yeah, remember what Arthur C. Clarke said about that very thing. Any sufficiently advanced technology will be indistinguishable from magic.
It sure is.
Those look close.
Oh look, there's dubnium listed. It can be synthesized, but it's never been found on Earth. That really is interesting.
Lots of nebulosity and clusters here. Those look like convection clouds on the planet.
And there's some very rugged terrain.
That's some crazy flare or whatever.
Is this star at the center of the planetary system, or has a nearby star gone nova?
Yeah, I wish we knew.
This one's different.
Hey, look at that.
What?
MJ5. That number's huge and fantastically dense. There's metallic hydrogen, and that's quite something.
Yeah, and it makes a wonderful rocket fuel.
This one is something of a puzzle due to the translucency.
It's rather beautifully serene though.
I'd love a picture of that on my wall.
Galaxies, clusters, and more nebulosity. That angular flare-like radiation is interesting. I wonder if it could be a high-velocity star. Of course, we've never observed one up close.
It's not what I would have expected. There's no bow wave feature.
Unless we're behind it, of course. Lots more galaxies out there too.
I agree, it's mysterious, and it gets stranger yet. We need to move on. There's more we need to see. Looks like we're on a moon, orbiting a rocky planet with an obvious atmosphere.
I wonder if those white clouds are water and carbon dioxide?
I see there's indium here. That's useful for electronic components.
Yeah, like semiconductors and photoconductors.
What a strange, barren world. A surface containing oddities such as mercury. How did this form, I wonder?
I see there's radium this time.
Interesting. That's really useful for electrical contacts because it resists arc corrosion.
Well, I can see that would be useful. Yeah, there's really a pattern developing here.
This is superb. Those deep gullies on the surface could be a strong indicator of erosion caused by flowing water.
Yeah, this is great. The pillar is really something. It looks like some form of agglomeration, doesn't it? We need an exogeologist here.
The very smooth-looking surface of a nearby moon. Well, I think it is. Could be an indicator of recent volcanism.
Yeah, this system has a close spiral galaxy neighbour. We'll spend more time on this one and others at the next review.
Ooh, this looks rather dark and sinister.
That flattened-looking spiral galaxy is amazing.
Yeah, but just wait until you see what comes next. This one and the next are extraordinary. We haven't much idea at this stage, but it could be something akin to gravitational lensing.
Yeah, it could be, but where's the distortion we would expect to see?
Well, take a look at the next one.
Just look at that. This is completely way beyond anything we know.
Yes, I agree. It's beyond belief.
I can't get my head around what I'm seeing here. What exactly is going on?
We don't really know. The sequence changes here to some really exotic looking material, way beyond anything we've encountered so far. There aren't many images, but the questions are endless. The only info we have is that they're LERTs, large unknown random transformations. And at this time the scale's unknown. It may be in the data somewhere.
What the hell is that?
We haven't a clue.
This is strange, and we can't see any stars. And listen, the sound's changed.
The shapes, textures, and colors suggest something either structural or organic. Are they gaseous?
Bubbles. They look coherent and sort of organised. We'll need a lot more time to work this out. Wow, this is crazy.
Large and random they may be, but I'd say there is something intentional looking about these.
That was quite a sequence. Believe me, no one has a shred of an idea. So now we go back to some probe and planetary data. But then things really start to change, as you'll see.
This is different.
Looks like they're going in closer.
This is quite something.
And there is a target.
Yes, and we're moving in.
Yeah, to a planet. Another target.
We seem to be homing in on something. Closer again.
Just look at that.
I'm absorbed and don't know what to say.
That one's surface is interesting.
Looks like we're going there.
Wow, just look at that surface.
There is another target.
Yes, and it's taken an even closer look. Now, what is that?
There is something down there.
In again.
What the?
Could this be some sort of space-time portal? Sounds like science fiction, though.
Beyond me.
Stranger and stranger.
Looks like another destination.
I'm just enjoying the ride now.
This looks like an extreme range.
And again.
Where is this going?
There sure appears to be a strong purpose to this. Distortions and envelopes of matter we can't begin to understand.
A sort of vortex?
In again.
What is that?
Something of an anomaly, I'd say, and a pretty weird one at that.
Like a super big lens or another portal.
We're getting closer.
You're right, Alex. It looks like a portal.
And we're passing through.
Our probes found something.
And it's rotating and changing color, as if it sensed the probe.
There's a closer view next.
What a structure. You've got to wonder just what this thing is.
And back to the long shot.
Now what?
Hello? What's this?
Some sort of alien language, we reckon. We put our colleagues at the Dreyfus Institute onto this, and here's what they found.
It's meaningless to me.
The translation team say it's a request for data exchange.
We're dealing with some form of intelligence here.
Hey! This is not bidirectional. It's only one way. That's data theft.
Well, now it's got the Earth coordinates, and that's for sure.
I think it's found us.
What else did the Dreyfus team say about this?
Here's their brief translation.
Harvester.
I don't like the sound of that.
It could be on its way. I wonder how long we've got.
Well, if it's a harvester, then what's the crop?
Oh.